What if one of Hollywood's toughest legends nearly walked off set because of a simple kiss? Clint Eastwood, the embodiment of toughness, known for playing stoic cowboys and unflinching cops, built his entire career on portraying characters who never showed vulnerability. His role in iconic westerns made him a symbol of strength, resilience, and no-nonsense grit. But behind the scenes, there was a moment that nearly shattered this tough guy image. A kiss scene, something that seemed so simple to most actors, turned into a massive point of contention for Clint. How could the actor known for his unwavering coolness and fierce reputation suddenly be rattled by something so seemingly innocent? Behind the camera, words started to spread about tension on set. Speculation grew about Clint's frustrations with the scene and his growing unease with the demands of playing the tough guy. Was he just being difficult, or was there more going on? Was the pressure of maintaining his iconic image finally catching up with him? What really went down on set that day? The rumors, the anger, the media frenzy, it all added up to one unforgettable Hollywood moment. And what happened next might just surprise you. Stick around as we dive deeper into the drama that nearly made Clint Eastwood walk away from a film. For decades, Clint Eastwood built his career on playing characters who exude toughness. Whether it was the silent, grim anti-hero in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or the hard-edged cop in Dirty Harry, he became the embodiment of masculinity in Hollywood, setting the standard for the unflinching, fearless leading man. Clint's on-screen characters were the kind that never showed vulnerability, no matter the circumstances. He was the guy who could stare down the bad guys, take on impossible odds, and never flinch, rarely showing any emotion beyond a hard stare or a terse one-liner. This unshakable persona became his trademark, and it was a role Clint played effortlessly for years. His portrayal of tough, no-nonsense characters made him a legend in Hollywood and a symbol of strength to his fans. He wasn't just acting, he was becoming the quintessential tough guy, someone you could count on in a crisis. The year was the early 1970s, and Clint Eastwood was filming a Western that required him to kiss his co-star. Now, for an actor who had built his career on being emotionally distant and unapproachable, this was no small task. Clint had become synonymous with tough, stoic characters who rarely showed any signs of vulnerability or affection. And this kiss, although crucial to the storyline, felt like a massive risk to his carefully crafted image. In a genre where emotion was often secondary to grit and action, this moment of tenderness was a stark contrast to the tough guy persona that Clint had cultivated for years. He wasn't just playing a role, he was selling a version of masculinity to the public, and a kiss seemed like a crack in that armor. But it wasn't just the kiss itself that bothered Clint. It was what it represented. To him, it symbolized a loss of control over how he was perceived, and he wasn't sure how the public would react. His co-star, however, was more comfortable with the scene, having worked in romantic or emotionally charged roles before. But Clint couldn't shake the feeling that this moment might define him in a way he wasn't ready for. As the scene played out, tensions rose, and the drama behind the scenes was just beginning. What Clint didn't expect was how the pressure of the kiss would nearly cause him to walk off set. As Clint Eastwood prepared for the kiss scene, whispers started circulating on set. It wasn't just pre-scene jitters, there was real tension behind the camera. Clint, who had spent years cultivating his tough guy image, was now facing a challenge that threatened his carefully crafted persona. Word spread that Clint was frustrated, and some speculated that there were serious disagreements between him and the director over the scene's direction. Was Clint being difficult? Or was the pressure of maintaining his hard-as-nails reputation finally taking a toll? For years, Clint had built his career on playing rugged anti-heroes who never showed weakness. Now, with a simple kiss scene, it felt like everything was at risk. As tensions rose, the cast and crew started wondering if Clint would walk off the set. The real twist, though, would take the behind-the-scenes drama to a whole new level. Soon after filming wrapped, the rumors began circulating. According to gossip from the set, Clint Eastwood was not happy about the kiss scene. In fact, it was reported that Clint had walked off set in a fit of rage, unable to cope with the vulnerability that the scene required. The media, always hungry for drama, quickly ran with the story, feeding into the narrative that Clint's legendary tough guy persona had finally cracked under the pressure. Headlines across Hollywood buzzed with speculation, painting Clint as someone who couldn't handle the emotional demands of acting. But what really happened during that heated moment? While the media made it sound like Clint was on the verge of a full meltdown, the reality may have been more complex. Was it truly about the kiss itself? Or was Clint simply overwhelmed by the weight of maintaining his larger-than-life tough guy image? What the public didn't know was the mix of personal pressure and professional tension Clint was feeling at the time. The media sensationalized the situation, but how much of the story was fabricated to sell papers? The truth remains elusive, but one thing's for sure. The incident sparked intense discussion and shed light on a side of Clint Eastwood that the world rarely saw. Clint Eastwood was no stranger to rumors, but this leak seemed to strike a chord with him. Known for his stoic demeanor and unwavering ability to control his public image, Clint wasn't the type to let gossip dictate his narrative. However, the buzz surrounding the kiss scene and the sensationalized accounts of his on-set meltdown were a different story. During interviews following the incident, Clint expressed his frustration with the press, though he never directly confirmed or denied the rumors. His signature poker face remained intact, but his words and demeanor suggested that the leak hit a nerve. Despite his attempts to downplay the situation, it was clear that Clint didn't appreciate his tough guy persona being called into question. For someone who had spent years cultivating an image of strength, emotional restraint, and confidence, the idea that he could be rattled by something as seemingly trivial as a kiss scene was jarring. In his mind, this moment of vulnerability was being blown out of proportion, and he wasn't keen on letting the media reshape his carefully crafted identity. But did this incident change how Clint Eastwood approached his career moving forward? The answer is more complex. While Clint continued to take on roles that highlighted his tough exterior, he also began to explore more nuanced characters, ones that showed a deeper range of emotion and vulnerability. Whether this shift was a direct response to the kiss scene scandal or part of his evolving career strategy, it's clear that Clint's career trajectory was impacted by this unexpected chapter. The fallout from the kiss scene may have seemed like a small blip, but for Clint Eastwood, it was more than that. It was a wake-up call. After the controversy, Clint found himself grappling with the fact that even Hollywood's toughest star couldn't completely avoid the pressures of public perception. He'd spent years building a reputation as the tough, silent anti-hero, but this moment showed that even he had his limits. In the years that followed, Clint began to take on more varied roles. While he never fully embraced vulnerability in the traditional sense, we began to see a different side of him, one that explored complex characters with depth and emotion. It was subtle at first, but those layers of depth started to emerge in his performances, hinting at a more human side that went beyond the stoic tough guy. Did the incident with the kiss scene directly influence Clint's decision to take on more emotionally complex roles? It's hard to say for sure. However, what's undeniable is that Clint's journey as one of Hollywood's most iconic tough stars took a surprising turn after that moment. Whether or not the kiss scene itself changed Clint's career trajectory is open to debate, but what is clear is that it pushed him to reflect on the expectations placed on him. It was a pivotal point in his career, marking a shift in how he approached his roles, ultimately allowing him to show a side of his talent that we hadn't seen before. So, was Clint Eastwood right to be upset over a kiss scene? Was it the scene itself that rattled him? Or was it the immense pressure of living up to his tough guy image that had built up over the years? The answer might surprise you. Even the most unflappable stars sometimes face moments where the weight of expectations becomes too much to bear. In Clint's case, this was one of those rare instances where his legendary persona seemed to clash with the reality of his career. Clint had spent decades carefully crafting an image of a stoic, no-nonsense cowboy. His roles in films like Dirty Harry and The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly had made him the quintessential tough guy. A man of few words, even fewer emotions, and with an ironclad reputation. So, when the script called for a kiss scene, it wasn't just about the kiss itself. It was about everything Clint had built and the fear that this moment might expose a vulnerability that didn't fit with his public image. While rumors of his anger and frustration may have been exaggerated by the media, it's clear that the incident left an impact on him. It's possible that this moment forced Clint to take a step back and reflect on the expectations placed on him. But ultimately, it may have pushed him to take on roles that showcased more depth, complexity, and yes, vulnerability. What do you think? Was Clint justified in his reaction, or was it just part of the Hollywood game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insider Hollywood secrets you never knew.